Hi guys, can you see me and hear me clearly?
Hello, yes.
Yes.
Great. So let's begin our session for today. Sit comfortably wherever you are. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. Just start connecting with the natural flow of your breathing. Staying connected with the pure breath and just observing as it enters and exits your body. Now slowly shift your attention to your body. Become aware of your posture. Check your alignment and make any adjustment if required. Make sure that in your final position, you are both comfortable and stable. Now gently come back to your breathing and begin to consciously deepen the breath, going for slow, long and deep inhalations, slow, long and deep exhalations. And now, after your next inhalation, hold your breath in for about 2 seconds and then go into the process of exhalation. Inhale, hold, and then exhale. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Take a deep inhalation for Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibrations. Join your palms together and begin to rub your palms together. Keep your palms on your eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up the eyes, coming back with a big smile on your face. Om Shanti and Namaste to everyone. So let us begin our pranayam session for today. So now we are going to start with the cooling pranayams, okay? And it is already winter, so we are not going to practice a lot of rounds. And because we are going to practice less rounds, it's not going to, show that much of impact also. So be very observant when you are practicing these pranayams, because the changes will not come up too strongly because we are going to practice less, but there are going to be changes. Okay, so just as an experiment only, we are going to practice just to see that, okay, if this is how the practice is, this is the correct technique. First thing, your target should be to catch the technique, and second thing, your target should be to see if the technique is actually working in the way it is like claiming to work. Okay, so today the first pranayam that we are going to practice in cooling pranayams, it is the practice of 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐴 Pranayam. Okay, so 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐴 Pranayam. This is also famously known as left nostril breathing. And of course, if it is warm in your area, this is the perfect practice for you. So you can go for more rounds also. Okay, so it depends where you are located and what kind of weather you are currently experiencing. So 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐴 Pranayam is the exact opposite of Suryavidin Pranayama. Okay, so in the previous, in the previous week, we had covered a pranayam called Suryavidin Pranayama, and this is the exact opposite of that practice. So the key feature of this practice is that when you inhale, you always inhale through the left nostril, and when you exhale, you always exhale through the right nostril. Okay. Again, like Suryavidin, you can only inhale and exhale through the left also, but the original technique of 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐴 is breathing in through the left side and breathing out through the right side. This is one round, and you practice multiple rounds in this way. Okay, so the term Chandra, it is referring to the left nostril, and in Hatha Yoga classes we have already discussed the left side. The nadi that is associated, it is called Ida, I-D-A. The energy channel which is associated with the left side, it is called Ida nadi. And Chandra, when we are using the term Chandra, it is referring to the left side. So left side is associated with relaxation. It is associated with the parasympathetic nervous system. And it is also associated with moon-like qualities, right? So when you look at the moon, it's very beautiful, and it has a very different feeling. It gives a very different feeling in comparison to the sun, right? It's more peaceful and calm. That kind of energy is radiated by the moon, the cold kind of energy, basically. It's cold in nature. And when you look at the sun is hot in nature. So the cold kind of quality, Chandra is referring to that. In our bodies, the left side is associated with the feminine energy. So very nurturing, Yeah. So if you look at Earth, we always call it Mother Earth, right? So very nurturing kind of, and very feminine in that manner. Giving kind of energy, right? So we have both these energies within us, and at different points of time, different kind of energy dominates you, right? So when you are doing this practice, you want this feminine kind of energy to dominate within you. So you will see, your mood and your entire state of mind get more aligned with the feminine energy when you finish the practice of Chandra Bhedan Pranayam. Now, Bhedan, like I wrote in the class of Suryavidin also, Bhedan, this term means to pierce, to awaken. Okay. To pierce or to awaken. So again, you are uh, cleaning. You can also say it's the cleansing. So you are cleaning this energy channel specifically when you do this practice, or you are awakening this kind of energy again. The left side, all the energy traits that are associated with the left side, you are working towards giving them more push, right? So sometimes, in life we are very ambitious, no? And ambition is a very driven kind of energy, right? So sometimes we just need to take a pause, we need to stop, and we need to, reflect back. We need some time to ourselves. So when you feel so overwhelmed by the things that are going on around you, you can go ahead and practice Chandra Vedan. And it is a very beautiful practice. The more you practice it, the more you are able to understand, not only does it have a cooling impact on your body, but the kind of state of mind that it induces, it is very, very beneficial. Okay. And in today's world, this is required much more than the activation. So all of us, we are very active in our nature, right? We are constantly doing things, pursuing things, but it's very difficult for us to stay back and just observe. COVID forced us to do this thing, right? So uh, whenever you feel overwhelmed in your life by things, I would highly recommend go for this practice. It has a lot of, like, benefits when it comes to such things, right? So Chandra Bhedan Pranayam, this is one pranayam which you will not find in the Hatha Yogic texts, okay? Because its origin is not in the Hatha Yogic text. This is more like a modern practice, even though it was mentioned in the Upanishads also. So you will find the mention of this practice in the Upanishads, but it has gained more, um, you know, it's been highlighted in more recent times. So there is a book called Light on Pranayam. Okay. So BKS Iyengar, if you have heard the name, BKS Iyengar. Okay. So BKS Iyengar, he has written a book called Light on Pranayam. And in that book, he has greatly elaborated on the practice of Chandra Bhedan, and this is when the practice, started gaining more attention also. Before that, even though it has its backing and sourcing in the Upanishads, it wasn't that Hatha yogis weren't practicing it that much, because in the Hatha yogic text, this pranayam is not mentioned. Okay, so this one thing should be clear to you, because where you are going to teach from, again, uh, the source from which you teach, it has to be authentic. And if your students ever come and ask you where you are teaching the practices from, you should know where you should ask them to look for the practices. Okay, so very easily available this book, and it has other pranayams as well. So if you want to study pranayam more in depth, this is a great book in general. Okay. So, like I have mentioned in previous session also, Suryabhedan and Chandrabhedan, these are right nostril breathing and left nostril breathing, they are exact opposite practices. Hence, they should never be practiced on the same day. Okay. So if I am doing one in the morning and the other one in the evening, my system, it will be a lot of change for it. And I'm going for the exact opposite practice, not some different kind of practice, the exact opposite. So in order to keep your system functioning well, do not practice both these pranayams on the same day. And second of all, this is again a seasonal kind of pranayam. So don't practice this during winters, right? Or if you have cough, cold, fever, you should practice this pranayam, in fact, when the weather is very, very warm, because externally everything is warm. And when you do this practice, at least internally, you feel the coolness, right? So yogis were very intelligent people. They did not have air conditioners or heaters, and they knew that they couldn't have that, right? They were planning to leave everything behind. How could they carry a heater? How could they carry air conditioning with them? So they use the mechanism of the breath to regulate the temperature of the body. Okay, so if you are ever in a situation where the heat is just getting to your head and you are not able to understand what you should do, then Chandrabhedan is the perfect practice for you. You can just sit somewhere. As long as your back and neck are straight, you are sitting in any comfortable position and your body is stable, you can go ahead and practice this pranayama. Okay, so I will just demonstrate one round and then we will discuss more about the contraindications, and then we will touch upon the benefits of this practice, right? So you already prepare your breath when you are going to do pranayams. Okay, so right now we are just assuming that the breath is already prepared. With the right hand, you form the preferable mudra, whichever one you prefer more. You exhale fully, and then with the thumb, close the right nostril, begin to inhale through the left side. Once you inhale, close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and exhale. Again, you will close the right nostril, open the left nostril, inhale. Close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and exhale. So these were 2 rounds. Okay. Try to keep the inhalation and exhalation equal when you do this practice. So there are some contraindications because Chandrabhedan is not for everyone. One thing I told you, for everybody, it's a seasonal kind of practice. So practice in summers, it is more preferable. Then second thing, for people who suffer from low blood pressure, chronic low blood pressure, for them also this practice is you should avoid. Okay, so sometimes for all of us the BP drops. Okay, that is normal. Okay, it happens sometimes. But if you have chronic low BP, then this practice reduces the BP further, right? So don't go for this practice. Okay, then in the case of heart disease, again this practice, when you are practicing retention also, breaking down this practice and going for some retention, then for heart patients it is not a good practice. Okay, so for them you have to try and avoid the retention, and in general don't give them this practice too much because it has a cooling impact. Okay, so in case of heart patients especially, all the practices have to be given very carefully. Okay, and this one is no exception to that. Okay, now in the case of cough and cold, again this is a cooling pranayam. If there is already a lot of mucus, there is a lot of uh, uh, cold that you are experiencing, this practice will only aggravate that thing. So don't go for this practice. Then in the case of any kind of respiratory disorder, again, Chandrabhedan is not the practice for such people, okay, because again it has a very cooling kind of impact, which again disturbs the respiratory, like the respiration of people who have such kinds of disorders. So asthma, bronchitis, these kinds of issues, if anybody is having, then ask them to completely avoid this practice. Now, this practice also has a cooling tendency on all other systems also. So digestion is one of them. So if you are a patient of chronic constipation, then again avoid this practice, because in constipation already the body is struggling with the expulsion of the toxins, right? And when you do the practice of Chandrabhedan, it freezes the system further. All right. So for such people, again, completely avoid this practice. Okay. So let's move to the benefits, because Chandrabhedan, like I said, has numerous benefits as well. So if you are in neither of these categories, okay, and you are perfectly fine, healthy, then what are the benefits that you will gain out of the practice of Chandrabhedan Pranayama? First thing, it has a very cooling impact, like I said. So there is an immediate drop in the BP, right? This is a great practice for people who have hypertension. Okay. So as long as you do not introduce the holding. So when you hold, have you ever seen this thing? When you hold the breath, the temperature of the body, it begins to rise. Okay. So in this practice specifically, you have to take care that even if you are going to practice it with retention, the retention should never be too much, because the retention is going for the opposite impact. Okay, so you are doing a pranayam to cool down your system, but if you retain more than your capacity, or you are retaining, you are not ready for that kind of retention basically, then the heating impact will start, and the main purpose for which you are doing the practice, that will get defeated. Okay. So when you are doing Chandrabhedan or any kind of cooling pranayam, you have to be more careful with the retention also, right? So for hypertensive people, this is a great practice. Okay. If you introduce them, when you prepare the protocol, introduce this practice to them. It will benefit them highly. Any person who is having any kind of pith related disorders, right? So in therapy, you study Vat, Pith, and Kaph. Pith has, as you know, heat. It has the quality of heat. So this pranayam is doing what? It is removing the heat. Okay. So anybody who suffers from hyperacidity, from the problems that are related to excess pith, right? So heartburns, these kinds of issues, anxiety, also one of them, right? So such people, they get a lot of benefit. They feel very beneficial when they go for this practice. So any kind of pith related disorder, Chandrabhedan should be included in the protocol that you are preparing for that person. Also, this practice has great impact on the nervous system. It soothes your nervous system, and hence on a mental level, it will give you a lot of relaxation, a lot of peace, a lot of calmness, a lot of mental clarity. Okay. So just take care of this thing, that if somebody is going through all of these things, like I will give you an example for mental disorders like ADHD. In this like disease, they are very, very active, and the mind is very, very, they have excess energy, right? So Chandrabhedan will again help them to calm down a little bit. Sometimes they even have, they are not even able to speak. They speak too fast, right? So for those people, this is a great practice. So because it is inducing the coldness, right? So for people who have, any kind of pith related issues, on all levels, it will do wonders. And even on an emotional level, if you are a person who gets angry too much, or who has ups and downs of emotions, right? So emotional, like fluctuations, too many emotional fluctuations. If you practice Chandrabhedan regularly, you will see the impact that this fluctuation in the mood and the emotions, this is also getting under control, right? And if you look at it spiritually, again, you are working towards the activation of the left side, and indirectly when you exhale through the right side, you are also releasing the toxins from the right side. And be careful again, like I said, in the case of Chandrabhedan, Suryabhedan, Chandrabhedan, also if you practice too much, it's going to lead to overactivation of one side and cause imbalance. Okay. So any which way, you should not go for a lot of rounds of Chandrabhedan. Anywhere between 10 to 15 rounds are good enough. And for today, maximum we are only going to do 10 rounds. Okay. Don't practice more than 10 rounds. Any questions, doubts, queries? Any difficulties? Is the practice clear?
Yes, it's clear. I have one question. We couldn't combine it with Surya Vedana, but is there another pranayama which we can combine it with Chandra Vedana on the same day?
Yeah, you can do 𝐿𝐴𝐽, you can do all the other ones like Bhastrika, you can do. So
Okay.
after asan, do the heating pranayams, okay, but not Suryabhedan. On the day you are practicing Chandrabhedan. And then when you are ending your practices, then you can do Chandrabhedan, you can go for one or two more cooling practices, and it's a great way to end your session.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any other queries, questions? All right. Okay. So let's go for the practice itself. So we are going to practice for a few, like for the remaining of the time. So wherever you are, sit comfortably. Keep your back and neck straight. And when you feel ready, very gently close your eyes. And now just start connecting with the natural flow of your breathing. Watch the breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Take a few moments to settle your mind just by focusing on the breathing process as it is. Now gently shift your attention to your body. Take a few moments to adjust your body before we begin our practice. And once you get in your final position, just make sure that you are stable and take a mental resolution that you will try to keep your body as stable as possible. Now gently come back to your breathing and start taking some deep breaths, going for the practice of Puraka and Rechaka. We will begin with today's practice. The first practice that we are going to go for is abdominal breathing. So, keeping the back and neck straight, shift the entire focus on your belly region. Exhale fully as you contract your abdomen, and then begin to inhale. Feel your abdomen rise. As you exhale, contract your abdomen again, expelling out all the air from the body. Just continue your practice like this. As you inhale, expand your abdomen. As you exhale, contract your abdomen. Try to deepen your practice with each passing breath, gaining more and more control over your breathing. Take each and every breath in a very controlled fashion. Keep your mind focused on your abdomen. After your next exhalation, completely suspend your practice. Keeping the back and neck straight, simply observe the change in the natural flow of your breathing. Mind is still focused on the abdominal region. Now is the time. If you feel the need, you can change your posture before we step into our next practice. Adjust your body and prepare yourself for the practice of Anulom Vilom. With your right hand, form the preferable mudra. Whichever mudra you find more comfortable. exhale fully. Close the right nostril and begin to inhale through the left nostril. After you complete your inhalation, close the left nostril, open the right nostril and exhale. After exhaling fully, begin to inhale again through the right nostril. And now close the right nostril, open the left nostril and exhale fully. This is one round of Anulom Vilom. Continue your practice and go for a few more rounds. Keep deepening your practice and try to keep each inhalation and each exhalation equal. Each and every breath should be very, very controlled by. You're choosing how long you want to take the inhalation and how long you want to go for the exhalation. It's not automatic or pre-decided. You have full control. You are constantly guiding your breath from one nostril to the other. Feel the benefits as you continue your practice. After completing your current round, fully suspend your practice. relax your hand. Keeping the back and neck straight, focus the mind on the natural flow of the breath and see the changes that have occurred from abdominal breathing to the practice of Anulom Vilom. This is the time for you to change your posture. So if you're feeling the need to move your body or change your posture, feel free to do so before we enter our last practice. Just become aware of your current body temperature. And we are only going to go for 10 rounds. So if you feel you want to suspend the practice before it, please suspend the practice. At no point should you feel uncomfortable or any kind of discomfort should come up on the body. Maximum number of rounds that we are going to go for are 10. If you are in a location where it is too hot, you can go ahead and practice a few more rounds. So with the right hand again, form the preferable mudra. Exhale fully. And now close your right nostril with the thumb. Begin to inhale through the left nostril. After you inhale fully, close the left nostril, open the right nostril and exhale. Again, close the right nostril and begin the inhalation through the left nostril. And then close the left nostril, open the right nostril and go for exhalation. These were 2 rounds. Continue your practice in a similar manner and complete about 8 more rounds. Try to take the breath in a very, very controlled manner. After completing your 10 rounds, you can relax your hand, keep the back and neck straight, and simply observe the natural flow of your breathing. Again, become aware of the temperature of your body. Just see if you feel any differently. Were you able to feel the cold temperature of the breath as it was entering the left nostril and as it was escaping the right nostril? Just think back. Before we close today's session, we will go for a few rounds of abdominal breathing. So as you inhale, again, expand your abdomen. As you exhale, contract your abdomen. Go for a few deep abdominal breaths. After your next exhalation, just come back to the natural flow of the breathing. Keep your back and neck straight. If you feel the need, you can change your posture. Just observe yourself as you are about to end today's session. What is the state of your mind? How is your breath functioning currently? And see how your body feels. We will close today's session by chanting Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Keeping the back and neck straight, take a deep inhalation for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibration. Join your palms together and gently bow down. We will end our session with a sense of gratitude. Just feeling grateful for everything and everyone we have in our lives. Now begin to rub your palms together. Rub them properly so that you are able to generate heat between both the palms. Now place them on your eyes. Allow your eyes to absorb this heat. We will do this 2 more times. So rub your palms together. Keep them on your eyes. One last time. Rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes, coming back with a big smile on your face. Om Shanti and Namaste to everyone. Any issues, any doubts or queries, or anything you want to share about your practice?
No, thank you.
All right, great. Okay, so if there are no questions, no doubts, we will meet tomorrow. So enjoy the remaining of your classes and take care, guys. Bye-bye.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a good day, evening.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.